Oscar Van Ryn will always look both ways before crossing the street. After spending a final loving moment with Oscar on the streets of New York City, John Adams, Claiborne elder, was tragically killed by a speeding horse-drawn carriage in Sunday's episode. After exiting a crucial meeting that put Oscar back on track for financial security, John congratulated him, "You've defied the odds." Oscar practically exploded with love for John, but he had to settle for a firm handshake. "You are my savior," he said. "Thank you from the bottom of my heart." Oscar can find some comfort in the fact that his last words to John were ones of love, even if it wasn't the L-bomb in the traditional sense. Unfortunately, John left the pavement a few moments later, leaving Oscar gasping for oxygen as he watched his lover's lifeless body fall to the ground. It was a daring move that viewers may not be used to seeing on the Gilded Age. Even though Ada lost her husband in the previous season, Luke's illness at least gave Ada and the audience some advance notice. As many viewers will certainly note, John's untimely death on the streets of the city was cruel, shocking, and perhaps disturbing. Certainly not in the late 1880s, we weren't really expecting Oscar and John to live happily ever after as homosexual men, but did their tragic tale really need to take yet another terrible turn? Check sidewalk. No life at all would be preferable to even a life of unsaid love and covert trysts. For what it's worth, co-showrunners Sonia Warfield and Julian Fellows don't lament this especially bleak development because it seems to significantly advance Oscar's plot going forward. After the immediate shock of John's death has passed, that much will become evident in the upcoming episode. Fellows tells TV Line that if John Adams had survived, none of those impending events would have been achievable. They were quite careful to kill him with a straight accident, not with anything with political overtones. Like anyone else at any time, he was just died in an accident. Warfield continues, "Those startling facts are real in life. I have undoubtedly gone through those hardships. They transform you, and we aim to transform Oscar as well." Putting feelings aside, Fellows says the show did a quite well job of depicting John's death from a technical perspective, adding, "I jumped out of my skin when I watched it for the first time." In episode 6 of season 3, Somewhere, Bertha fulfilled her promise to George by going to Buckingham to remind Lady Sarah who is truly in charge now that Gladys and the Duke are married. Oscar took a more tactful approach instead of raking Maud across the coals, giving her enough money to leave town and start over. Marion, incensed that Larry had lied about going to a place of bad reputation, contemplated calling off their engagement. Ada found unexpected solace in her sister's arms after realizing that her so-called psychic is a complete fraud. Peggy started to tell William about her complex past, but he reassured her that the present is far more important to him, and Jack was awkwardly fired once Agnes discovered how much money he made from his invention. It's hard to believe there's a God in heaven. If only his precious, dear mother shared his sentiments. Alright, let's discuss. Sarah's strength is her ability to accomplish her job well. She is adept at maintaining control, and since Hector never resists, she has had no trouble doing anything. Additionally, because of their dynamic, Sarah has essentially raised him. Hector has frequently taken a backseat role. Despite Bertha breathing down her neck, Sarah has always been the boss of the show. And even while Bertha tried her hardest to push back if Sarah was patronizing or outright angry, Gladys would always be the one to initiate contact. Eventually, Bertha was going to go, so Gladys needed to take a stand and do it fast. While I loved Bertha's encouragement of Gladys, I'm happy they acknowledged that she was ultimately responsible for everything and that, despite her insistence on forcing Gladys into the marriage, she didn't want her to suffer. That is my belief, and I believe Gladys felt the same way. Gladys's assertion of her position throughout supper caused a visceral reaction in me. Did anyone else? When she finally saw Sarah look and feel as she had since arriving, unmoored and outwitted, you could almost see the confidence take over. The expression on Sarah's face was priceless.